Hello, and welcome to TTT Pacific, Designing Effective Online Courses. This is the first video in our series, which will introduce what we do here at TTT Pacific and how we can help you. At this time, which is mid-May 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic is the top news story around the world. We have particularly felt its effect in the world of education. According to UNESCO's Institute for Statistics, at this time in mid-May, 1.2 billion learners have been affected. 70% of all learners were enrolled in some sort of online learning at this time, and 160 countrywide closures of schools have taken place. Clearly, there's never been a time where the discussion of online learning and how we do this effectively has been more prominent on our minds. Distance online and blended learning is not a new phenomenon. Distance learning, for example, has been around since the late 1800s with the use of the postal system. Online learning in 1989 took a giant leap with the University of Phoenix introducing the first undergraduate and master's degrees which could be completed fully online in numerous disciplines. So what do we do here at TTT Pacific? We assist you with designing, developing, and executing research-based online learning solutions. Our target audience that we usually help are upper or high school and also tertiary level courses. This could include university and vocational courses. We do have some assumptions about the learners that we will be working with, which is that they do have their own device and they do have access to reliable internet. Why do we do what we do? We constantly get feedback from lecturers and teachers that they have more students to teach, class sizes are getting larger, and there's an increased workload for instructors and teachers. There tends to be more hiring of contract or sessional teachers and also greater use of teaching assistants. We are also met with a greater diversity of students, lifelong learners, people with different language backgrounds, different learning needs, digital natives. Thus, we need a different approach to teaching and better use of technology to enhance what we are already doing. Here at TTT Pacific, we do exactly that. So why the need for your school to create an online course? The online environment, no question, is growing rapidly. There has been a significant increase in online learning enrollments over the years, particularly some statistics from 2002 to 2012. In North America alone, online enrollments were up 10 to 20% per year, as compared to face-to-face enrollments were only up 2 to 3% per year. Also, as discussed in Tony Bates' book, Teaching for a Digital Age, many big businesses and universities already are going in the direction of creating online courses. They're either going fully online with their training and development, using a blended hybrid approach, using MOOCs, some with over 100,000 learners. Maybe it's your school or business that needs to catch up. I'd like to just now clarify some definitions and terminology that you will be seeing throughout this series, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Firstly, online learning. What is online learning? Online learning is learning that has been developed and executed online using the internet. It is intentional. Pedagogical strategies such as lesson construction, discussion, and assessment need to be designed specifically for this, and they are different to the traditional classroom. We have recently been in a situation where many educational institutes and businesses have had to go online in a very short span due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And this is where the problem lies, as courses and content that were meant to be done face-to-face suddenly have been moved online. This is not intentional. Some of the errors with this will be discussed in the 3 case studies of online learning that will come later in the series. Finally, blended learning, as the name suggests, is a hybrid of face-to-face and online teaching, and it also can be done in a number of ways. However, here at TTT Pacific, we focus on planning and developing courses that will be done fully online, but many of the same principles can be applied to the blended learning situation. Now I'm going to introduce you to the 5-stage model. This is one of the main models that we use here at TTT Pacific, as it has been shown in many successful studies to be very, very helpful in the development of online courses. Jilly Salmon introduced the 5-stage model as an instructional design model for online courses that can be used as a scaffold to design, develop, and execute successful and effective online courses. It is simple to use and follow, in which you can take existing learning outcomes and through the 5 stages design those outcomes to be accessed in an online environment. The main goal of the 5-stage model is to ensure that you have greater participation and interaction in your online courses. Well, why is this important? According to Monty and Kaz in 2013, working online creates a wide range of feelings in students and teachers as well. And very often it tends to be the experience of isolation. Isolation has 2 dimensions. One is the distance and place of being alone, and the other is psychological, distance in thoughts, feelings. So again, going back to this, we need to make sure that our learners are interacting and participating in our online courses, and they are not feeling that isolation. As you can see in the diagram on the right, the 5 stages are built upon one another. As you move up the stages, your role as a teacher changes, as does the involvement of the learners. These 5 stages, again, will be discussed in much more detail. Because we will be using this diagram, I would like to take a few moments to explain how the diagram works. First, we need to discuss the minimum capability. Each stage requires participants to have the minimum skills to use the platform, learning management system, websites, software, etc. This is shown in the purple regions and it's labeled technical support. Each stage also requires different teacher or e-moderating skills, as Jilly Salmon refers to the teacher as, and this is shown in the blue regions and it's labeled e-monitoring. Finally, running as a progress bar up the right-hand side is an amount of interactivity. This suggests the amount of participation that you can expect at each stage. Learners will differ in the amount of time that they will need at every stage before progressing, and this is really important to be considerate of. For example, if your students are using new software, you're going to want to be spending more time in stage 1. Meanwhile, if you are using a course where you've used the software previously, you may spend less time at that stage. People are likely to cycle through the model many times as they increase their knowledge and explore their learning. What can you expect in the rest of our series? We discuss how to get started with online learning, digital literacy, and we have 5 different videos explaining each of the 5 stages in more detail, and we also have 3 different case studies. Up next is video 2, Getting Started with Online Learning. Finton will be discussing 7 principles for good practice, designing online learning, the ADDIE model, Carpe Diem design, and introducing e-tivities. If you do want to know any more details about the references I've used in this presentation, please click the link below, and I have attached the Google Slides. As well, you can see the references I have used on the screen. Thank you for your time.